Hi, I'm Kate, and today I'm watching Breaking Bad Season 2, Episode 5. In the last episode, we see both Walter and Jesse reach the end of the patience of both the most important women in their lives. With Jesse, his mom finally puts his foot down and kicks him out of his aunt's house where he's been living. She puts everything into storage and says, hey, you can have it back when you grow up. Jesse tries to say, I just thought this was a wake-up call. I'm totally getting my life together. I've been looking into business school. And as she's crying, he's like, no, this is a great thing. Like, I'm going to go back to school. But you can just tell this is something that he's done over and over again. There's like no passion behind it. He wasn't trying to be convincing at all because he's probably just said these things before and she's believed it because she wants to believe it. But she's heard it too many times now. She puts her foot down and basically says, I don't know what you're going to do. You're going to have to figure that out yourself, but we're done being a part of this. Then with Walter, he's doing too much. He's trying to sweep everything under the carpet, act like nothing ever happened, and just move on without addressing any of the concerns Skylar has. He's making breakfast. He's trying to be a perfect husband. He's recommending that they go do things that she likes to do, and he's just over-explaining everything. And you can just see that look on Skylar's face, like the breaking point, where she's just like, nah, I'm done. When he's trying to explain away, oh, you know, that secondary cell phone you were talking to me about, and he just over-explains, and it just comes across as a total lie. We also see Walter and Jesse realize that people's lives move on without them when they're not in the picture. Jesse's looking for a place to stay, and he's finding all of his friends just can't accommodate him. They have their own lives. They have families now. They've matured. And he's stuck. With Walter, he takes Walt Jr., Flynn, out practice driving, and he finds out that Lewis, Flynn's friend, has been teaching him how to drive while Walter hasn't been. Lewis has been stepping up and being a great, solid friend while Walter is gone. I kept getting really frustrated with Walter because he keeps acting like Jesse isn't important in all of this, and if Jesse wasn't important, then why did Walter blackmail him into being a part of all of this in the beginning? When Jesse didn't want to work with Tuco, why didn't Walter just let him go? Why didn't Walter just go to Tuco himself? Afterwards, after everything happened with Tuco, how traumatizing was that? Walter wanted to move on, or Jesse wanted to move on, and Walter tells him, no, there's been no change in the plans, we continue on. So if you're wondering what Jesse does around here, ask yourself that, because you're not letting him go. Sometimes people really need to get their ass kicked, and Walter needed to get his ass kicked, and I'm glad Jesse was the one to do that. I'm wondering if this episode we're going to see a progression of their relationship together, maybe get a little bit closer. I'm still not convinced. For me personally, I still see like the nice things that Walter does for Jesse is more out of guilt than care at this point. I do think that their relationship will progress and he will genuinely care about Jesse, but he makes it clear he thinks Jesse is just a junkie. He takes out his frustrations on him when he does do nice things like saving his life with Tuco and with getting him extra money when he was hospitalized after getting his ass kicked by Tuco. Again, I just think that's more guilt than care. So I'm interested to see what happens this episode. Like I said, I think we're going to see Jesse and Walter's relationship move forward. Hopefully there's a little bit more respect. I don't know what they're going to do about cooking, about selling. I don't know what Jesse's going to do about his living situation. He has some money now, so hopefully that improves. And how is Walter going to patch things up with Skylar? Because she's just not buying it anymore. So he's going to have to do something. So with that, let's get into the episode. Is this drug smuggling or innocent? Tuco's grill. How'd that get there? No, we got some more chemo. I know Walter is paying for these treatments out of pocket with the money that he made selling meth, but how is he being able...
Well, we've come a long way, Walt.
Oh, how's he doing?
Here at the end of round one.
End of round one.
I recommend cautious optimism. We'll check back in 2 months, see how you responded, reassess, and decide our next move, if any.
Skylar's not there with them.
So, no more confusion?
Yeah, no more.
No more are you two holding up?
I mean, we're busy.
Walter in the shadows.
We're good. Absolutely.
Yeah, his lying has not gotten any better. Okay, like I was saying, the government usually picks up on large amounts of cash that are being deposited into accounts. So how is he doing this to legally get this money into his account without the government taking notice?
I thought we had discussed a cash discount.
Absolutely. It's included. Congratulations.
Can you please explain to me the distinction between diagnostic and exploratory?
They make it difficult on purpose so you can't
Yeah, but
understand
either way,
it.
his doctor ordered it.
She is still helping him out, though.
Been around someone who smokes?
No. 3-day stay, 13,000 and counting.
This sounds terrible, but for a 3-day stay, $13,000 isn't bad.
Is this something that Gretchen and Elliot might cover?
They will. I'm sure they will. I'll handle it.
I mean, they're talking, but there's definitely like a warmth missing. Skylar, we tried to flush a pack of cigarettes. Like I said, the baby's done cooking. Like, I'm not gonna judge, but they're on his desk at the moment.
Bring me up to speed on Tuco Salamanca.
Dead.
Still?
Completely. So things are quiet, Not a lot of crystal on the streets right now.
Just Walter's a little busy.
Who's gonna rally the roaches now that his turf's up for grabs?
No takers so far?
Well, we keep hearing a name, Heisenberg. Maybe it's a tweaker urban legend. Still, somebody somewhere is cooking that big blue we keep finding.
How does Albuquerque Liaison Tri-State Border Interdiction Task Force sound?
That's a lot of words,
One hell of a promotion.
but congrats.
As of the first, I want you to split your time between here and El Paso.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. How you doing? Yeah, I'm stoked too. Yeah, El Paso.
Hopefully he just ends up throwing it away because it's like he doesn't want to deal with it. Because I still think Hank is suppressing a lot of his PTSD and his emotions. He's acting all cool, but that was a lot. He was not expecting to go into a gunfight. Yep, someone's having a panic attack. Hopefully just a panic attack and not a heart attack. Oh, Hank. In the last episode, I said that Jesse and Walt have made a lot of enemies. They're going to have to build some bridges, so hopefully he's being a man of his word and giving Badger's cousin the money he promised. I'm really proud of Jesse for showing up.
Hey, you got some nerve coming back here.
Balance for the tow, the repairs, and extra for damages and stuff. The gate. My word is my bond.
Jesse makes mistakes, but truly deep down he is a good person.
What would you charge me to store this here?
500.
A month?
A week.
Okay. Sounds good. Totally doable. Inside, padlocked, plus gate privileges.
Come again.
Gate in and out privileges.
Month to month. Cash up front. Inside.
See, Walter, when he asked, what do you even do? The dirty work. Jesse is doing all the dirty work that Walter doesn't want to have to think about.
You selling?
I should take it for 9 G's.
Jesse, we gotta find a place to live.
What about that one?
I am proud of you, Jesse.
It's Jane, right? Well, Jane, I gotta say, this place is awesome.
Really? Does it inspire awe?
I always call her Kristen Stewart, but that's wrong. It's Kristen Ritter.
Utilities are included.
Stacking. Sweets.
Now we just gotta talk about paying cash.
All right, the usual drill. I'll need a W-2 or a recent pay stub, current employer, former address, the yada yada.
I can...
Unbelievable.
Come on, yo, can you please just help a brother out? My folks, they kicked me out. I'm a disappointment. Apparently, didn't meet their expectations. I work hard. I will pay you every month, and I will pay you on time. I will not mess this up, okay? I swear.
Rent just went up. 100 more a month. That's the cash price.
That's not bad.
DBAA fee, non-refundable.
Yeah, of course. No problem. DBAA. Obviously. Yeah. What's DBAA?
Don't be an asshole.
Gotcha.
I live next door.
Here's the good friend. Tonight is kind of special.
Sounds like Hank.
A little bit straight around.
He's a home brewer. See, he's into chemistry too. God, those mountains are gorgeous.
What are you doing?
Beating off. What's it look like up there?
You call in sick the day after receiving a long-awaited career-boosting promotion so you can play Oktoberfest.
Babe, relax.
Please don't tell me to relax. Dave said I should express that.
Oh, she's still
All I'm
going to
saying
Dave.
is,
Good.
everything's fine.
I think Hank needs to see Dave too.
Now, get that sweet ass out of here so I can concentrate.
And there's Hank alone in the darkness with all of his thoughts and feelings, bottling it all up. We're about to cook again. It seems like they're both getting their lives back on track. But again, like I said, they both were having some issues with money and explaining where it came from. So we're going to have to figure something out eventually.
Okay, so what's the plan?
The plan is we cook.
Why are we cooking when we can't even move what we cook?
Well, how much do you think you can sell on your own? Say if I cook during the days and you work the nights. Dude, prior to Tuco, that was your plan, wasn't it?
He's being watched.
I got profile now. Don't you get that? A DA's up my ass.
I don't think either of us are eager to jump into bed with another Tuco.
What about Skinny Pete and Badger? Can you get them to work for you?
We go into business with yet another homicidal lunatic, or you and I
Yep. This is what I was talking about
You-
last episode.
selling whatever you can.
They're going to have to fill the void that Tuco left.
There's a third way. We
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
got to be Tuco.
So you're going to what? Snort meth off a Bowie knife? Well, you gonna beat your homies to death when they diss you?
Come on, Walt.
All right, I can create a network.
I'm genuinely surprised, though, that
No,
Walter wasn't
that's not the
one
point.
No, I am
to
not
reach this
willing
idea
to do
first.
that.
Who said anything about you?
Yeah.
I don't vote for this plan. I'm not comfortable bringing in unknown entities into our operation.
Well, you don't get to vote.
This is a partnership, remember?
I sell. That was the division of labor when we started all this.
I'm so proud of Jesse this episode.
I will admit to a bit of a learning curve.
Because we do things my way this time, or I walk. You need me more than I need you.
Yep. And I'm glad Jesse realizes this. Again, they're making and selling meth, so neither of them should be doing any part of this, but
Oh, it's from my casa. Yo, Skinny Pete, what's up, brother? What up with it, yo? Hey, Combo, good to see you. Welcome to my humble abode.
is this going to be like a little MLM meeting?
Some refreshments over here if you want to partake.
You got any other refreshments?
It's funny you guys should talk about this.
No bomb, no beer, no weed, all right? You smoke it up on your own time. We're talking business. Here,
This is like a pampered chef party.
I front each of you an ounce. All right, you sell it for $2,500. I keep the 2. You keep the 5. No cutting it. You sell it as is, all right? This is the best shiz ever, all right? Everybody and their mother's gonna want to taste. And second, who else is selling right now, huh? But I make what I make. Too large. No exceptions. Short me, you're out.
Badger.
This is a big opportunity I am giving you.
I don't trust Badger.
Right, this is the ground floor. Gentlemen, how far you go is up to you.
Why am I like nodding along like, yeah, this is a great plan. This is awesome. Yeah, he's giving Badger that extra stare. I don't know, I think we're gonna end up regretting Badger. This neighborhood looks like the Flintstones, though.
Human heads. They leave. The cartels, they litter the place with human heads.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going there.
Yeah, he didn't sound too excited about that.
Now, DC, on the other hand, I could get behind.
I wonder if Walt's gonna be the one that Hank opens up to.
Went online to this fantastic real estate website for DC.
We're getting ahead of ourselves, Marie.
Apologize. What? I will not listen to one more word.
Someone needs to apologize to Skylar and truly mean it.
For... You know perfectly well, Marie.
Obviously, I don't.
Your
Clearly, I
lies,
just-
now or never. I mean it. Or it'll never be the same.
She truly feels like nobody actually respects her.
Sister back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Marie.
You want the gory details? Yeah.
No.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
Was it scary? Hell yeah, it was freaking scary, you little punk. But you were way faster than him. Well, I'm here, aren't I?
Son.
Nah, it's fine. Cockroach comes out from under a fridge. What do you do? I mean, don't think about it. Stomp him down.
That's what he's trying to tell himself.
Where do they come from? I mean, what do you think it is that makes them who they are?
Buddy, you might as well be asking me about the roaches. All I know, there's a whole world of them out there.
And I'm sure he's been giving a lot of thought that he's going to have to deal with more. What a cute little montage. Look at you, Jesse. Like, I love all the neons, the blues, the shadows. I like this camera work. Run, Pete, run. Oh, that was smart. I did like, though, that during that montage, it seemed like it was going really easy, but I like that they did show that it's not all easy all the time. The thing with, like, this taking place in New Mexico, too, is that, like, it's just so exposed, because there's, like, very sparse, like, the landscape is very beautiful, but there's just, like, no trees and stuff blocking stuff.
I'm guessing this one doesn't bounce.
No, Walt, he's being responsible.
Your half. 15K.
It's gonna say it's not enough.
16 ounces should net to me $16,000.
Something came up. One of my guys got held up by a couple junkies.
So you're saying that your guy got robbed, or rather you got robbed, but doesn't matter.
It's the cost of business, yo.
Hey, look, I'm just the chemist here. I'm not the street guy, yo.
That's right, Walter.
But it seems to me that what you call breakage is just you making a fool of yourself. Once everyone knows that Jesse Pinkman, drug lord, can be robbed with impunity.
Walter, we're sounding a lot like Tuco.
You think Tuco had breakage?
See?
He broke the skull of anybody who tried to rip him off.
And you wanted to get away from him.
Take it. Here. My guys get what they're up against, and they're careful. So am I. Yo. I mean, seriously. What the hell do you want me to do? Huh?
Walter's too violent. Well, Skylar got one apology, heartfelt apology this episode, so...
Oh, sorry.
Let's see if maybe she can get two.
What you eating?
Panini. There's another one in the freezer if you want it.
I thought we nixed those. Huh?
Did we?
I think Skylar got a little too tired of caring too much for people that aren't caring about her.
So where's Junior?
Or appreciating how much she cares.
Out.
Out? Where?
Somewhere.
Huh.
I don't know.
Walter's expecting too much respect for not giving it.
I just thought you might have a clue where your son is.
Well, you don't either.
Not you.
Thank you.
Why am I the only one who needs to keep track of our son? I'll tell you what, Walt. You want to know where he is? Ask him. Just pick up the phone like I do.
Perhaps you might know something about this.
Perhaps I don't, Walt. Perhaps I smoked them in a fugue state.
I'd like an explanation, please.
You really don't
Oh,
want to
you want an
go down
explanation?
that road, Walt.
You're pregnant, for God's sake.
I feel ashamed.
You drove her to do it.
This is so unlike you. Why?
Really? How would you know?
Boy, do I feel silly for thinking she was about to get a second apology. PTSD. Oh, it's his bottles exploding. It's his bottles exploding. Didn't have the chemistry quite right. I don't have a good feeling about this.
You asked me what?
Yeah, exactly. He's going to turn to violence because he's upset. Because he's feeling out of control in his personal life.
I want you to handle it.
Okay, maybe he is just throwing it. Okay, that was quite an episode. So I'm never going to lie to you, right? So let's just get this right out of the way. I said when I first started the series back in episode 1 that my best friend was obsessed with this show back when it was airing. She always had it on. I had seen things out of context, but I only really remember 2 things. And one of those things is Kristen Ritter, the character we were introduced to. I forgot her actual name in the show. I don't know if they said it, but I saw a scene that involves her character. I don't know what happens between now and then. And I'm excited to see it. Again, like, I'm really excited to see it in context, but that's why I was a little bit quiet when her character came on screen, because her and Jesse definitely had some chemistry, some, teasing, flirting back and forth, and I know it's going to be trouble. And it's going to happen. I'm not excited to see it, but I know I'm going to see it. So that's just the one thing out of the way. That's just something I know. But in terms of this episode, so proud of Jesse's growth, I say, about somebody that cooks and sells meth. He really made wise decisions this episode, but, for somebody in his position, right? So he got the beater car, he negotiated, he said he was a man of his word, he went back and he paid Badger's cousin plus the damages, which is great. He's not skimping back like Walter does. And he stood his ground with Walt. I said in the last episode discussion that with Tuco gone, I assumed Walt was going to fill that distributor role, because how it was originally going with Jesse just selling at night wasn't enough money for Walt. I thought that Walter was going to be the one to suggest it. I was actually kind of surprised that he wasn't as excited about it when Jesse was the one that brought it up, but it also makes sense that Jesse would be the one to have that position, especially because Walter's like, always telling him like, what are you even here for? What do you even do? What do you bring to the table? Even though Walter's the one that has him on a leash and won't let him go. I genuinely thought that Walter would be that one because he has a violent heart like we saw this episode. And we'll get to that. I started off this series really disliking Skylar. I thought she was just a bit too overbearing. And, from what I saw in the first episode, I think I'm fair in thinking that in that first episode in context. But now, as we've seen the relationship between her and Walt, and even just Walter and Jesse, I think that Walter expects other people to kind of take, do things for him. He doesn't really want to do the dirty work, but then he always has an opinion on the person that's doing the dirty work, the nitty-gritty for him. I'm glad Skylar got at least one apology this episode from Marie, and the relationship between her and Walter is continuing to disintegrate. Walter, it's just so frustrating because I feel like it is in part him trying to play innocent and never admit to doing any wrong and not trying to admit to anything to try and keep his secrets from Skylar, but then he's throwing Skylar's not allowed to have any. He's throwing it in her face, and he's just making insinuations that she's a bad mom when he's not even being there as a father. Because like I said at the beginning, Lewis is having to step up in his place and be a father friend to Walt Jr. Poor Hank. I really hope that maybe he starts seeing Frank, the therapist, because he needs to open up to somebody. I thought maybe ironically it would be Walt, but we'll see how this storyline continues. But I don't wish panic attacks or anxiety on anybody, and I'm really hoping that Hank gets help. But back to Walter and Jesse. Once again, Walter, following a fight with Skylar, he feels as if he's lost control, and he turns to violence. So he goes to Jesse and expects Jesse to what? To kill Skinny Pete? That is just over the top. That is Tuco-esque behavior, which is Like, ironic that back in the RV when Jesse said he wanted to be the distributor and that was going to be his role, Walter was like, oh, what, you're going to be crazy? You're going to, like, he didn't want to have to deal with somebody like Tuco, but now he's expecting Jesse to be like Tuco. When, like I said, Walter is the one with that violent heart. He is the one that is taking it too far and being crazy. I really hope that Jesse doesn't follow through and take care of Skinny Pete, because honestly, this is coming, like, Walter even saying that is coming from a place from him being upset with what's going on in his own life, and he just wants some sort of violence, some sort of something to happen because of how upset and angry he is. Like, it's just too much for me. I am liking Walter less and less every episode. He is very frustrating, and again, he keeps painting himself as this victim, as this poor me, my life has been so difficult. And at first, you know, when he gave that teary-eyed speech, and I know that totally was genuine, when he was explaining why he was choosing not to get treatment and saying, like, I never got to make any of my own choices in life, I just went along with it. You had choices, and you're making wrong ones. If this was solely about your family, if this was for your family, you would have taken the money from your friends, or you would have worked for Gray Matter. You're acting like you had no choice other than to cook and distribute meth. That's not your only choice. You had options in front of you, and you're choosing the more difficult one and then, like, complaining about it. I feel like I say this every episode. I don't know where we're going to go from here. I have a lot of questions. I get some answers as we go along, but I love the writing. I love how everything is unfolding, even though certain characters are really frustrating, especially Walt. But I'm excited to get into the next one, so I'll see you in episode 6.